I love questions like this, not because they're easy, but because they're dangerous in the best possible way. Was time invented or discovered? That's not a dumb question. In fact, it's the kind of question that philosophers, physicists, and theologians have been circling for thousands of years. And the reason it feels confusing is because the word time is doing more than one job at once. First, clocks were invented, measurement of time, sundials, water clocks, mechanical clocks, atomic clocks is absolutely invented. Ancient Egyptians measured daylight, Babylonians divided circles into 360 degrees. We define a second today using transitions in cesium-133 atoms. Those are conventions, they are tools, they are human agreements about how to track change consistently. Just like meters measure length and kilograms measure mass, seconds measure duration. But measuring something is not the same as inventing the thing being measured. Second, the physical aspect of time was discovered. In physics, time behaves like a dimension. Einstein showed that time is woven together with space into spacetime. Gravity bends space and it bends time. Clocks tick differently near massive objects. That's not hypothetical, it's measurable. So in that sense, time isn't just an idea, it has physical consequences. You cannot turn gravity off. You cannot step outside space-time. We are born into it. In that sense, time was discovered, not invented. Third, time as experienced is constructed. Here's where it gets interesting. If you sit in a quiet room with nothing changing, no movement, no memory being formed, no anticipation, what is time in that moment? You don't see time flowing. You see change. You don't observe pastness. You remember. You don't observe futureness. You anticipate. This is why some philosophers say, time is what allows us to order change, or more simply, time is how we experience change, and that brings us to something crucial. Is time physical or hypothetical? It's neither purely physical nor purely hypothetical. It exists in layers. As a physical dimension, it structures causality and motion. As a measurement system, it's defined by conventions, like cesium oscillations. As an experience, it is shaped by memory, attention, and expectation. Gravity describes attraction between masses. Time describes the ordering of change. That's the simplest way to say it. Gravity tells you why something falls. Time tells you when something happens and in what sequence. But here's the twist. The deeper physics goes, especially in relativity and quantum theory, the less solid time becomes. At extreme scales, time behaves differently. Some equations don't even prefer a direction from past to future, which means our everyday sense of time as a steady flowing river might not be fundamental at all. Question that really matters. Here's the part that makes the question powerful. If time isn't just a ticking thing outside of us, what role do we play in shaping how it unfolds in our lives? This is the core argument of humans, actuators of time. Humans don't just sit inside time like passengers on a train. We decide what to remember, decide what to focus on, decide what future to aim toward. Turn sequences into stories, clocks measure duration. But humans give duration meaning. Without memory, there is no past. Without anticipation, there is no future. Without interpretation, there is no story. And without story, time collapses into isolated moments. So was time invented or discovered? The most accurate answer is this. Time as measurement was invented. Time as physical structure was discovered. Time as lived experience is constructed, and none of those cancel the others. In fact, they all coexist. Why this question isn't dumb at all, the fact that a 16-year-old asks this question is exactly how philosophy and physics move forward. Einstein asked what it would be like to ride alongside a beam of light. Augustine asked what time even is. Modern physicists ask whether time emerges from relationships. Every breakthrough starts with someone noticing that something obvious isn't actually obvious. Where this conversation continues at, dare I say, publishing, we explore questions like this not as abstract puzzles, but as lived realities. Humans Actuators of Time examines how memory, narrative, and choice transform measured intervals into meaningful existence. If this question stirred something in you, that slight feeling that reality is deeper than it first appears. You can explore more at dareisaypublishing.com. Because time may structure the universe, but how you live inside it, that part is not invented, and it is not predetermined. It is enacted, one choice at a time.